welcome, ladies and gentlemen. We've got a summer sizzler, a cracker on Saturday night at the SSE Arena, Wembley, live on BT Sport, headlined by Joe Joyce, the juggernaut, in there against Carlos Takam, who's coming to ruin his dreams. Joe Joyce is knocking on the door for a world title. Carlos Takam, he thinks he's got unfinished business with Anthony Joshua. He thinks he should be challenging for a world title. It's a hell of a fight. In chief support, we have Hamza Sheeraz, 12-0, unbeaten WBO European Super Welterweight champion, defending his title against Spain's former Spanish champion, Ezekiel-Gurria. Now we're going to speak to Hamza and all the guys very shortly. We also have, of course, Hall of Fame boxing promoter Frank Warren, the man who is making the magic happen on Saturday night. Frank, I'm going to come to you first. Talk to us. This is a cracking show. Great headline, great chief support, great fights.
They are great fights, and we've got the smartest man in boxing fighting on there. Look at him. $1 million. Hamzah Sheeraz, 12-0. He's done everything that's asked of him, and I think he's a tremendous young talent. Still got a way to go yet, and I think we're going to get a good performance from him against a quality opponent who's only lost one fight. And I know he's not just showing up, as we say, to make the numbers. He's coming here to make a statement. But he's the man of the moment, and I'm looking for a fantastic performance from him.
When did Hamza first sort of start coming onto your radar? Because obviously he's been around for a while, very young when he joined up. It seems like he's turned from a boy into a man. The last sort of few performances, what do you think?
Well, that's what happens as you get older.
I'm still waiting.
I think the thing is with Hamza is that he's got a unique style. I mean, you think of talking about him like he's not here, but you think about his light middleweight, as we call them, or super welterweight, as known in other areas. But you look at the size of him, he's quite deceptive. And what I like about him, he's got a fantastic jab, he's got a really good boxing range, but for a tall guy and a rangy guy, he fights well inside. You don't really see that in big rangy guys. They normally kick you on the end of their jab, so forth. But I think he's a quality act, and as I say, I'm really expecting him to go far in boxing.
Well, let's hear from the opponent, former Spanish champion Ezekiel-Gurria, joined by Eduardo from his team. I don't know Eduardo's surname. What's your surname, Eduardo? There you go. So welcome Ezekiel. What do you know about Hamza Shiraz?
Bueno, simplemente es un boxeador alto, como vemos, es muy técnico y yo creo que va a intentar jugar con una distancia, pero bueno, hemos entrenado para ello y yo creo que va a salir buena pelea.
He says that we know that he's a really tall boxer, and we think that he's going to play with the distance that he has because of the measure that he has. We are ready, we have prepared ourselves for that, so let's see what's happening.
Well, for UK fans that maybe haven't seen a lot of you, how would you describe yourself? How would you describe your style? What can they expect from Ezekiel-Gurria?
Bueno, me considero un boxeador con recursos y preparado para cualquier tipo de combate que se nos dé. Si toca boxear en la distancia larga nos movemos bien y en la corta también. Yo creo que estoy preparado para cualquier cosa.
He's ready for everything. He's been in so many fights in long distance, short distance. He has a lot of strong points, and he thinks that he has a lot of things to show, and he will be able to handle the fight with all confidence.
Well, Hamza Sheeraz has knocked out his last 6 opponents in a row. He's unbeaten in 12. He has a lot of momentum. But what skills does Ezekiel have to stop that momentum?
Bueno, sí, es un boxeador extrañito, está en su casa, pero no te voy a decir con qué armas vamos a intentar superarlo, pero yo creo que tenemos las armas para superarlo.
We know that he has won everything, and we have prepared ourselves for that, and we have a lot of tricks, we have worked out as much as we could, and we are not going to say what things we have prepared, but we think that we are going to handle it without any problem, even though he hasn't lost any of the fights that he has fought.
Right, well, we'll hear from Hamza very shortly about not having any problems, is what Ezekiel said. Ezekiel, finally, what would a win mean to you on Saturday night?
Bueno, pues yo no pienso más allá de este combate. Para mí esto es una final y significaría pues, sacar buen resultado de todo el trabajo que llevamos detrás durante todo este tiempo atrás.
For him, it's another fight. He has done a lot of fights in these months recently. It's a good way to continue his fights and everything that opened everything opened after this fight is welcome.
Great stuff, right, thanks gents. Hamzah Sheeraz, so let's talk about your last fight, tail end of last year, another stoppage, 6th in a row, and then you got this praise, David Haye, Carl Frampton, they were talking about how you're the best prospect in the UK, they were talking about future world champion. What did you think when you heard all these words?
I'll tell you what, Dev, that performance for myself, me being honest, it wasn't what I wanted it to be, it wasn't what I needed it to be, to be honest with you. But listen, at the end of the day, coming out of the ring and hearing world champions give you that praise after a performance like that I don't think was the best personally, it just goes to show what me on my best day could potentially be. So hopefully come Saturday night, under the training I've done with Ricky and under the influence of my team and the opportunity obviously Frank's given me and Andy's given me, we'll get the best version of Hamza Shiraz you've seen.
Is that a little indication? That's just fans cheering at a press?
The army's here, wait till Saturday night.
Team HS in the house. Hamza, tell me this then, everything was going so well, you got to 12-0, WBO European champion, you got getting all this praise, rather than just carrying on as you were, you decided, no, I'm going to leave the country and go to LA for 4 months, completely change everything. Why?
I wanted to become that, I wanted to become that, now I'm thinking about it. Listen, I trained with Ricky 2 years ago, I trained him 2 years ago, I'd done a 45-minute session with him, and from what I learned in that 45 minutes, I took on in 3 fights, just that little bit of knowledge, just little things, not too much, just little things. And then I said to Taz, when obviously prior to that session, that I actually want to work with this guy eventually. And then he goes, once we get the sponsorship in place, we'll go out, we'll fly out there straight away. And then we made it happen. I've learned a lot in LA. I've been training at sparring at Wildcard Gym, training at Tengus and just rubbing shoulders with all like David Benavides, Gilberto Ramirez, do you know what I mean? Names that are at the top of the sport, at the pinnacle of the sport now, so you can only imagine what I will be doing at the end.
I'd imagine there were hard spars as well with guys who no one's ever heard of but are coming to take your head off. Tell us about some of that.
Yeah, no, listen, if half these guys had like financial backing and top promoters behind them, they'd be world champions, but it was good sparring the Argentinians, Mexicans, you name it out there, everything. I sparred every style, tall, short, fat, slim, everything. And listen, come Saturday night, I'll be more than ready for whatever it brings.
Well, tell us how different you are then since that last fight, since 2020. What sort of Hamza Shiraz are we going to see against Ezekiel-Gurria?
I'm not saying you're going to see a massive new me, because that'd be a bit silly of me to say. But one thing I can guarantee is see a different version of me, you'll see a better version of me, and hopefully I'll get the job done in good fashion.
Well, he says he can handle anything that you bring, so any thoughts on that?
So I'm gonna bring a lot, so if he's ready for that, well done to him.
6 stoppages in a row, is this going to be number 7?
Yeah, God willing, inshallah. Yeah, no, I'm definitely looking forward to it. So, I mean, I'm on a roll now. And I'm making statements, so Saturday night I'll be making the biggest statement of my career yet.
Okay, Frank, I think it'd be really good if you could just speak a bit better. What do you reckon?
What he said. But, you know, he's got one thing for sure. At the end of the day, it's all what happens in the ring. And one thing that Ezekiel brings to the party is he's got good experience. You know, he's got a lot of experience, and he'll get the best out of it. And as I say, you only got to look at him. It's not like he's somebody banged up and everything. He'll give him something to think about. But if he's half the fighter, I think he is, he'll come through it and we'll do it.
Tell them front.
Cracker, Saturday night, chief support to Joe Joyce against Carlos Takam. Hamzah Sheeraz defends his WBO European Super Welterweight title against Ezekiel-Gurria. Thanks for joining us for part one, and we're going to do a face-off at the front, and it looks like there'll be a height difference, as there always is. Hamzah Sheeraz. Thank you.